Kings. So let's move to the second round of this best of three matchup between the Kings and the Toon Squad. Right here, it's going to be Cryptic taking on Ozzy Kid. Once again, Toon Squad in the blue corner for this one. The Kings are staying in the red corner.
Okay, so TK-Cryptic 3-1, another amazing record here in the ESFL. Fighting out of the USA, only lost to Smudger, who has the most wins of the season, has defeated three-piece, defeated Jimmy, Slick, and JC21. That is huge, but he is fighting Ozzy Kid, also with a nice winning record here, 3-2, fighting out of UK, beat Bang Bang, he beat Genius, and Dark Swiss lost to Cage and Smudger. He has elite pressure. I fight IQ. Entertaining fighter here. Now we got Dustin Poirier versus Nate Diaz. I'm gonna get it right this time, Balian. And we know the power here, of Dustin Poirier with that 95 power, 96 speed. You don't want to get into the guard of either one of these guys here. The boxer with Nate Diaz. Round one, take it away.
All right, here we go. Cryptic, Ozzy Kid here, all on the line for the Toon Squad. Ozzy needs to pull this out of the fire, and Cryptic's with that nice Poirier pick. We've seen it work so lovely tonight so far as well. But that was a lovely time double leg, cheeky off the back, but that was good defense. Turning those double leg takedown defense is not always easy to get on top of, but Ozzy Kid showing he can do it so far. Now this is again a fight where you got to keep that optimum range. With Nate, you got to make sure you're snapping that straight right at the crisp end of it. Oh, those are some looping shots though as well. They're wrapping around the guard though. They're getting through on Cryptics.
Yeah, doing a good job there. And I like the takedown defense there. It didn't really pay dividends on that stamina. Cryptics going for it early here. But look at this boxing here. Man, Balian just putting it on Cryptics right now. I like the pressure that he's applying from Ozzy Kid, doing a great job with that boxing, but got hit down low. Has to be careful there watching that stamina.
Yeah, indeed. You can see the long-term stamina slowly sliding away in chunks every time he's throwing when he's not at that maximum yellow bar there. So Ozzy does have to be careful with that. Even if you're playing Nate Diaz, that's a well-timed uppercut right there from Cryptics. Tried to load up on that rear elbow as well. Wasn't able to do it. Straight to the body lands. This is nice work from Cryptics, just kind of negating this pressure. Finding his shot, sniping through. He's in no rush to get the job done, and Ozzy's kind of forcing it right now, but there's an uppercut. Full shots to the body as well. One of them gets through. Can't come back to the head. Cryptics able to defend, but this is great work so far from Ozzy Kid. Good pressure.
Great work there from Ozzy Kid, and Cryptics utilizing this Weather the Storm perk here from Dustin Poirier. He blocks more effectively when moving backwards. He's going to need it right now with all of the pressure that's being applied from Ozzy Kid, just doing a great job. Now, Cryptics needs to get back into this first round. He has enough time to do it. He has enough stamina to do it, but he just has to collect himself. Watch the damage on that head, and there it is, Balian. This is exactly what we wanted to see right here. How are you going to fight through this adversity and turn this thing back to your side?
That was a nice little step to the outside of the jab there as well. There's no rush from Cryptics. After these rocks, he's not trying to pour out the gas tank. He's just sitting back and just letting things rebuild. There's really being a technician out there tonight as well. But Ozzy Kid is letting his hands go. There's that sneaky head kick as well that Nate has. That weird animation that kind of wraps over the shoulder. Hard to read sometimes, but the gas tank slowly dipping away from Ozzy Kid here as well. It's a 3-round fight. It won't matter too much, but man, Cryptic's just looking really on point right now.
Cryptic's looking good. I'm liking the footwork that he's doing. He still may be down on this round after suffering that knockdown, but he is seeming like he has the range and the distance down from Ozzy Kid, and he's making Ozzy Kid miss more shots than he would like here, but he still needs to do a lot of damage here because Nate Diaz is also a fighter, Balian, that gets stronger as the match goes on, so you want to put it on him early and often. So right now, round one, I'm not sure who took that. Maybe Ozzy Kid. What do you think?
I mean, it was even Stevens really in terms of the strikes. I can't remember. I know they both rocked each other. I can't remember if one of them was a knockdown. But I know it came out. Oh, damn, the slip on the inside with that rear uppercut from Cryptics is really nice. But Ozzy landed two on the head of Poirier. There's a 1-2 that snaps him back as well. Takes some chunks off the block. And again, Ozzy with this pressure. Has to be really careful of these slips, though, in these steps from Cryptics. He's doing really well. Sliding in those left hands. That was a lead hook that caught him as he was slipping there, though. And Ozzy, he's landing these shots, but he is having to sort of flurry box. So do you think he's going to gas out?
Yeah, he could gas out right here, and Ozzy Kid is going to have to watch that stamina because it's going to start paying, you know, dividends here in this second round here. And look, it got a huge takedown, but you don't want to hang out in the guard here of Nate Diaz, who has a rubber guard, who also can, you know, from there do a lot of different sweeps, a lot of different submissions here, and already Bailey having a sweep right out of the guard there for Nate Diaz.
Yeah, someone pointed out in the chat as well, where are the leg kicks from Dustin? That is a nice weapon that you could use against this pick. But Ozzy finds himself on top. It was a nice takedown attempt there, same direction on the turning takedown from Cryptics, but you know, Ozzy just didn't have the stamina to defend. Good job capitalizing after he threw a flurry there, so that's well managed by Cryptics. But on top now is Ozzy Kid, winning some rounds, but there we go, slips back to the feet. And inevitably, here comes the body damage from Cryptics as well. Surely going to take advantage of the fact that Ozzy, again, as we've mentioned, is slowly drifting away here, despite landing a bunch of damage. He is getting through that block, though, section by section. And if he can start to manage the output a little bit more, he can still definitely ride and stay in this fight. There's a big straight left, took half the head health off there of Cryptics. And there's straight lead hook as well. He's landing these shots. Little shots from the clinch doing damage as well. Now Cryptics needs to be careful.
Wow, Hugh. Yeah, Cryptic still applying that pressure, even though his head health was blinking, especially whenever you go to grab that clinch. You have to be careful if your opponent just spams, you know, punch while you're in that clinch. That could end up you getting knocked out, even though you're the one that initiated the clinch, Bailey. But good job right here from Ozzy Kid knowing that pressure.
Yeah, I think that's what Ozzy needs to be careful of most right here is the head movement counters from Cryptics as he tries to put him away here. They're both equally as damaged almost. Long snapping jab, going to keep him honest on the outside. But Cryptics definitely looking to time. There's those leg kicks that we kind of mentioned. Lead hook beats the elbow. Right hand gets pulled. Just not enough stamina to continue to commit to the offense. But it's getting closer and closer, I think, to this fight being finished, Boxer.
Yeah, exactly. And then I don't know if it's too late to start putting in work on those leg kicks because it's a 98, only a 90 power from Dustin Poirier with those leg kicks, but it's an 86 leg health there from Nate Diaz. So you could utilize it. Still a lot of time left.
Yeah, I mean, he's got high-level calf kicks as well, so that power sort of increased by some of the high level of the move. Although he's throwing the traditional Thai style, not the calf kick, which I don't think is as high. Oh my God, what a combination! God, what a combination! God, what a combination!
What?
Completely outranged him, beat him to the punch in every way, and just before the round doesn't end. Can't get the finish, but unfortunate for Cryptics there, getting dropped right towards the end of the round. That's got to give Ozzy Kid some momentum. And you know what? Don't forget, it's 1-0 right now to the Kings. Ozzy desperately needs to win this fight to keep his team alive.
Yeah, and Nate Diaz, like you said, Bailey, and from that proper range, he's going to have the speed to throw those combinations, and you can't fire back. But look at this here, a nice rock here coming out from Cryptics. Can he get the knockdown? But he needs to be careful. Both of these fighters right now, they're in it going toe-to-toe, and nobody is backing up here. Rock after rock here. Ozzy Kid getting a rock back of his own. These fighters are right here in the middle of the octagon, Bailey, going toe-to-toe. Nobody's backing down.
I honestly thought it was over for Ozzy Kid there. I really did, but Cryptics wasn't able to finish him, and now he's getting walked down by Ozzy, who's still snapping through. He's rocked him back. The rear uppercut lands! Can he finish with the ground and pound from knee on belly? There's still block left. Nice job by Cryptics. Gets his head on the inside. Frames or slips, wasn't sure which, but the top mount instant transition for Ozzy Kid, who you know wants to get some ground and pound going as fast as possible, will take this round with the knockdown if it does just sort of stay here in grappling exchanges. But my God, I honestly thought it was over, Boxer.
Yeah, it was over, and that was a great sequence there. And I see Ozzy Kid, he smells blood in the water right now, so he is going for it. Even here on the ground, he wants to get it because Nate Diaz, this is not his strong suit in terms of landing down ground and pound, but you can mitigate that with your skill on the sticks here. So let's see what happens here. Nate Diaz has very good submission defense of 96. He's going to be fine right here, and I'm just thinking Cryptics wants to mitigate that damage right now, and maybe wants to, you know, get this thing back to his feet any way possible.
Rubber guard perhaps coming out here for Cryptics. Done a good job to take it back to this full guard with Ozzy keeping this pressure on top, who looks content to keep the fight here. Just as I say that, he wants it back on the feet. This is crazy. They want to go to war here. uppercut to the body. We saw someone get knocked out throwing that. Straight lands though. He pulls the counter on the kick, and now the head health super low. One more lead hook lands. Ozzy Kid desperate to get this finish right here, but he is so dangerous himself. Straight left lands again.
Wow.
Another uppercut. How is he surviving? This is ridiculous, Boxer.
Oh, wow. Anytime you got this Dustin Poirier pickup, you're going to have a huge chin, but another knockdown here from Ozzy Kid, and this may be all she wrote here, but dependent button, that's it, Bailey. And that's that boxing that you get from Nate Diaz, especially if you stay in range right here, Bailey, and that was just a fighter feeling really comfortable at the end, moving the head when they have to, and just being at the proper distance with the Nate Diaz and all of that speed that comes with being at that proper range, and a huge right hand there, as we see, to drop Dustin Poirier and Cryptic's down. That was a back and forth fight, Bailey. Wow.
Fantastic fight. Great finish there as well. But I honestly thought it was over. It looked like he'd finished it in that second round. I mean, he had Ozzy Kid so hurt. And then Ozzy Kid came back in and got rocked again with another uppercut. But it doesn't matter because he stayed composed. He was able to get the job done. I love the matchup really with Nate and Dustin, because that's a fight we haven't actually still seen yet, that we're probably never going to see now, which is a bit of a shame. But it's a great style matchup. Back and forth that went the entire way through. But Ozzy Kid comes out on top, gets a win on the board there for the Toon Squad, and that just makes things even more interesting as we go into this final matchup here as well, because